Hey everyone. I know a lot of people have been asking me about Aria and why I started the YouTube channel for her and everything. So I wanted to come live and really quickly just explain a couple things as quickly as I can, because we all know my videos drag on. But just kind of explain a couple things that have been going on with her and the reason why I decided to start this YouTube channel. So a lot of you know that I've been raising awareness for Glut1 deficiency syndrome, which is glucose 1 transporter deficiency syndrome, which means that glucose doesn't transport properly across her brain barrier to give her brain energy. Now, it is said that this is rare, super rare. It's a metabolic syndrome that can be really oftentimes hard to diagnose because the cases range from mild to severe. Some kids have the genetic marker, which is on the SLC2A1 gene, and some kids don't. So they're actually finding that 80% of the kids who have Glut1 deficiency syndrome have a genetic marker on that SLC2A1 gene, and 20% don't. So this has been really hard for me, and anyone who knows me knows I like the facts. As soon as I found out Aria had epilepsy, I really quickly started researching and trying to figure out why and exactly what I could do to help her and help the doctors be able to properly diagnose her, rather than just, slapping, oh, your child has, absent childhood epilepsy. And obviously that is, she does have epilepsy, but it is a symptom of Glut1 deficiency syndrome, which is what she actually has. So I decided to start raising awareness on Facebook and doing Facebook Live videos. Well, a lot of those have been reaching people in England, in Sweden, in Canada, really everywhere, in California, all over the US. And it's been really awesome because I've been getting a ton of feedback and meeting a lot of new people and helping other parents actually diagnose their children with Glut1 deficiency syndrome. So the Glut1 Foundation says that there's upwards of 40,000 people with Glut1 deficiency syndrome, but really there's only about 700 cases worldwide, which is crazy if you think about it, because we know that the symptoms range from mild to severe because of cases like Aria, who her glucose CSF in her spine, was within the range for Glut1 deficiency syndrome, but on the higher end, meaning that she has a mild phenotype Glut1. So, I decided to do these Facebook Live videos to try and reach out to get to as many people as I can to help them diagnose their children. Well, what ended up happening is some of the groups that I'm in started filtering my live videos and not sharing them because, they have the rules of you can't go live in a page or whatever, when the whole point of my live videos is to raise awareness for Glut1 deficiency syndrome, also for epilepsy, as well as for hypotonia, because these are huge symptoms of Glut1 that sometimes get overlooked. So I decided to start a YouTube channel where I can, share about Aria's journey, but also upload videos on there for other parents to be able to watch, to hopefully continue to help diagnose more kids with Glut1 deficiency syndrome. Because my last video, I had 3 people reach out to me and thank me for posting it and sharing it. And 2 of them weren't even my friends on Facebook, which means it is reaching people. And that's truly what matters to me. Am I uncomfortable going live and doing these videos? Yeah, of course. But you know what? It's worth it because I know that I'm out there making a difference, and I am constantly raising awareness for Glut1 and for epilepsy, and just continuing every single day to, get the word out there, because, when it's not your kid, you think, oh, it'll never be my kid. It's when it is your kid that you're like, oh, wow, it could be anyone's kid. And they might not even know, and that's the crazy thing. And realizing that Glut1 is not as rare as they're making it seem has been huge, because, the varying amount of symptoms and the range from mild to severe can make it very hard to diagnose. And now the fact that they're learning that they don't have to have the genetic marker in order to have Glut1, they just need to have the CSF spine levels, which means that it can cause things like epilepsy, like tremors, like hypotonia, mild or severe, ataxia, movement disorders, trouble learning and academic struggles, as well as cognitive ability, mobility, let's see, what else? Just a ton of different things, regulating body temperature. There's just a long list of things. And the only form of treatment right now for Glut1, and this leads me into Aria and where she's at right now. The only form of treatment for Glut1 currently is the ketogenic diet. So I want to stress why. Okay. So people are like, why? You can't just put your kid on medication to help with Glut1. I mean, some cases, in very, very rare cases, there are a few kids that are on the keto diet and do take medication. However, let me explain to you why the medication doesn't typically work. So when a child has Glut1 deficiency syndrome, they have typically not responded to about 5 to 10 different anti-epileptic medications, because all of these medications have things in them that are going to trigger seizures. So basically what happens is your child takes a medication that's supposed to help with epilepsy, but instead of helping, it actually harms their body more and causes them to have more seizures, which is crazy, right? So that's what happened with Aria. She trial and errored 7 different meds, and I was finally like, I am done with medication. I need to get to the root of the problem and figure out exactly what is going on with her. So I looked into Glut1. So Glut1, basically, like I explained, it's an issue with your glucose transporter processing glucose and transferring it across your brain barrier so that your brain can have energy. So what happens is their brains actually starve. So the crazy thing is that metabolic epilepsy is oftentimes overlooked, right? And that's why I'm out here constantly sharing about Glut1, constantly sharing about metabolic issues, because they can cause epilepsy, but for whatever reason, they just want to throw the kids on medication and try to control these seizures through medication rather than actually figure out what is going on within the body. The biggest red flag to me was the fact that when Aria was a baby, her eyes would roll up and they would roll back and they would roll up and they would roll back. And it would be sometimes when I was changing her diaper or doing something with her. Another thing is that she didn't quite sit up straight as a baby. She had really crappy posture and poor muscle tone. And I was told that she was within the range of normal, but had mild hypotonia, but there was no reason for it. They were just like, oh, she'll grow out of it, right? So oftentimes that's what we're told by a pediatrician or by anyone is, oh, your child will grow out of it. And I'm not a medical professional. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I am, because I'm not. I'm just simply a concerned mom who's out there trying to raise awareness so that people can understand that, a doctor can tell you anything. You have to dig further. Don't let them just tell you your child has absent childhood epilepsy, because if your kid is having hundreds of seizures a day, like mine was on the EEG before the keto diet, Aria was having 400 absent seizures a day. She was falling 15 to 20 times. Her balance, her coordination, her speech, her learning, her cognitive ability was all delayed, right? So she had all these different symptoms, and I was told that it was just childhood absent epilepsy, which is not the case, because it's not going to cause hypotonia. It's not going to cause all these other symptoms. There has to be more to it. So I kept digging, and I refused to give up, and I refused to listen. And I probably have that crazy mom thing written on my daughter's medical chart, but you know what? It's worth it. And, today Aria's been on the keto diet for 2 years, and I'll go ahead because I know this is getting lengthy as usual. She's been on the keto diet for 2 years. I will not lie. It is a struggle in order to find the ratio. And that's another thing I want to stress out there. If your child has epilepsy and you've tried the keto diet and you've tried the modified Atkins diet, switch over to the classic 3-to-1 ratio, because you never know. There's so many different ratios, and there's so many times where your child will respond one way to more carbs, one way to less carbs, right? So don't stop at modified Atkins. Don't just throw them on modified Atkins and then be like, oh, MAD diet doesn't work for their seizures, so I'm not going to try classic 3-to-1 or 2 to 5-to-1 or 4-to-1 ratio for keto diet. Because for me, it took 1.5 years before we found what we referred to as Aria's sweet spot, and it's still not really fully adjusted yet to where it's perfect for her, right? Because she has Glut1, it helps to lessen her symptoms. It's helped her cognitively, developmentally. It's helped her speech. It's helped just everything. It's lifted this brain fog from her. I always used to say she had these like drunk episodes where she would seem like she was drunk. And, you know, it sounds crazy to say that about your own kid, but she was literally like a zombie because her brain was starving for glucose. Well, now the reason why we switched her to the ketogenic diet is because instead of her brain needing glucose for fuel, it now gets the fat it needs and burns the fat as fuel to fuel the brain. Therefore, since she's on the ketogenic diet, her body is in a state of ketosis 24/7, which has helped her immensely, which is why, like I said, if your child has an issue like seizures, multiple seizures a day, hypotonia, cognitive, any sort of delays, and you have no answer from a doctor as to why all these things are happening, please, I'm begging you to rule out Glut1 deficiency syndrome. Because why would the foundation sit here and tell us that there could be an upwards of 40,000 people undiagnosed with it within the hypotonia and epilepsy communities if that wasn't the truth, right? They're learning so much every single day. So get yourself out there. Reach out to me if you have any questions or you need any help or anything. I am here. I started this YouTube channel for that exact reason, and right now I'm actually currently live on Facebook, but I will share this on the YouTube channel after. Still kind of figuring out how to use YouTube. So if you are watching this on YouTube, please like or subscribe to our channel because I'll be, sharing more and more as Aria gets further into the keto diet. Currently, we are having issues right now with our levels, which is normal. Unfortunately, it's sad to say that sometimes the treatment for your child when it comes to Glut1 deficiency syndrome can also cause other issues. So Aria has to have a kidney scan this month, an ultrasound done of her kidneys, as well as some other testing done for her levels. She's having to go on some new supplements, which are okay, a vitamin D, vitamin B, and let's see, a couple of other things. And we're having to increase her lamb intake. Here's another thing. So with Glut1 comes carnitine deficiency. I'm convinced that this goes hand in hand, right? Aria got on the keto diet, her carnitine levels plummeted. Okay, so carnitine is it comes from meats and eggs and, avocado and things along those lines. And how your body breaks it down depends on the amount of fat and what kind of fat is fueling your brain. So MCT makes it so less carnitine is burned. Well, when you get on a keto diet, you're having a lot of oils and cream and all sorts of things. So your carnitine level can tank. So that's what happened with Ari, and I've increased her lamb intake, which has helped drastically to increase her carnitine levels, but still, kind of rough. So anyways, I'm going to jump off here now, but like I said, any questions, reach out to me. If your kid is having multiple seizures a day, it could be myoclonic, it could be absent, it could be just falling down and you don't know why. If they're having issues with hypotonia, if they're having issues with ataxia or movement episodes, they're complaining of stomach aches, headaches, they're cognitively delayed, they're speech delayed, they're either ranging from mild to severe, but you have no answers, rule out Glut1 deficiency syndrome. Please, if you've never heard of Glut1, get on Google right now and go search it, because I'm telling you, they are working hard every single day to raise awareness for Glut1 to be able to eventually fund a cure for it, but also to be able to bring and shed light to the epilepsy community of reasons why so many people are unable to control their epilepsy with medication. It could be metabolic, so just rule it out. All right. I hope everyone has an awesome day. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Take care.